about it, I got a couple of young bulls out there. I talked to Denzel Ward. There's a difference when that young bull is out there spinning that ball. You hear me?
And now you got NFL players being like, yo, I think this is the best guy on the team. There have been many of narratives spun about Shedeur Sanders. You could say arrogant, entitled, weak arm, all these things that, honestly, I've debunked on this channel, but we're not going to get into that. What I want to get into is the thing that is undebunkable, undeniable, and it's something that, if you're a Cleveland Browns fan, it's pretty obvious, ain't it? Look, the Browns players, they like Shedeur Sanders. They're a fan of Shedeur Sanders. I think they want Shedeur Sanders as QB1. Obviously, this started early on. As soon as he was drafted, you had, Grant Delpit shouting him out in spaces, doing different things. More recently, you had Jerry Jeudy speaking about him. You had different players speaking about him. In the rookie camp, everybody said that, he was humble, cool to be around, X, Y, Z. And now it's getting to a point that the familiarity with some of the starters, Njoku, and even a leaked source, because Ocho Cinco can't keep nothing together. There's a leaked source that a Browns captain wants Shedeur Sanders and says, or as QB1, because pause, he doesn't want Shedeur Sanders. I don't know what's going on there, but he wants Shedeur Sanders as QB1, and he says he just looks different. So we're going to get into those videos. We're going to watch a little nightcap. We got Ocho and Shannon, and then we're going to start with some Shedeur clips of him going around. We got some clips of him swinging it around, and then we're going to catch you up with some of those Jerry Jeudy videos, the Twitch streams when he looked very familiar. And then if we have time, we're going to get into the media, because it's not just the Browns, right? The media is also seemingly talking about and finding equations of how Shedeur Sanders can start in week 1 for the Browns. It's some craziness, but let's get into it. So if you enjoy these videos, like it. If you don't, dislike it. Subscribe if you enjoy football content, and hit the bell icon not to miss anything. Let's hop right into it. Look at this little exchange here.
Hey, would you listen to Njoku's wild outbursts?
We making sense sometimes, though.
Sometimes I don't.
He's just saying that, bro.
No, sometimes I don't.
He's just saying
sometimes
that.
I be
Hey,
just.
I appreciate the receiver.
Sometimes I be just talking. Sometimes I be saying.
Nah, I feel that.
You gonna know. Like when I be spazzing, you gonna know if I'm serious or not. You know what I mean? Because I do be crashing out. That's a fact.
Bro, crashing out not cool, bro.
I'm not saying it is, but it is what it is.
It's not cool, bro. And a lot of people, and again, this is a very subtle. It's just whatever. They're joking around, but I think a lot of people are starting to connect the dots. You have this. You got the Joe Flacco moment when they were doing the whole dance. When you put it all together, it seems like people are for a first year, 5th round guy. They're pretty buddy. Like it's just comfortability. And I'm not the person pointing this out. It's Browns people pointing it out. They gravitate to him. We found him. That's what that's what the Browns people are saying. I'm not a Browns person. I'm not a Browns. I'm a Texans guy. I'm a Shedeur guy. I'm a Deion Sanders guy. But these are what the Browns people are saying. Now, y'all, hey, comment down below. My Browns fans, I know there's plenty of Browns fans watching me now. How do you feel about this? The rookie got more maturity than vets. We got a leader. Now, I'm not sure about all the over maturity. I don't think it's that big of a deal. This is another person that you may be reading into it too much. The same person. This is like the same person that would say, "Oh my God, Joe Flacco hates Shedeur because he doesn't want to dance." Like he's like 40,000 years old. I don't think that he's not 40,000 years old. He's like 40 years old. Like I don't think he's gonna do a TikTok dance. Like it's not. That doesn't sound fun to a 30-year-old. I don't think so. I don't. You know what I mean? So. It's all jokes. It's all in jest. And to me, if you've ever been on because I hate singling out. If you got to be on a football team, you got to whatever. No, if you've ever been on a team in general, all my athletes I watch, you know what it's like to have a little bit of a camaraderie moment, just to reach out to you. It's not always your conversations aren't always like just straight up and like this is all serious. Dog, it's hot. We in pads. We just yapping about stuff sometimes. Sometimes we just be talking about stuff. I don't even know, dog. We here for 2 hours. Let's just talk about some stuff, dog. They talk about random outbursts, but clearly the energy is great to see. So let's hear first what Nightcap has to say. First about the general scenario, and then Ocho's gonna leak some of his sources. Let's get into it.
As the Cleveland Brown quarterback competition progresses into mandatory minicamp, Shedeur Sanders has often found himself practicing with the backup. Shedeur said he's unbothered by practice reps instead of looking to take advantage of every opportunity he gets. Life is just based on how you view different things. See, now You got me questioning whether or not he was unprepared when he came to those meetings. I think y'all tried to salt that man up. I never got the inclination that he was unprepared. If the one thing that he was going to be is prepared, his father prepared him. He understands his dad, although he didn't play quarterback, he understood what comes along with playing the quarterback.
Right.
I love the way he's answered that question.
He's answering the questions perfectly. And the funny thing about it, I done talked to some people, he looked different. There's a difference when that young bull is out there spinning that ball. You hear me? Talk about from sources that's in that.
All right. So I'm not sure how far he's going to get into his sources, but let's get into these sources.
About it. Now, I got a couple of young bulls out there. I talked to Denzel Ward.
Oh,
But anyway,
Denzel Ward. And let's make sure. Is that Denzel Ward? Who would Denzel Ward be? Is that Denzel Ward, Browns captain? Let me, because y'all know I've been fact checking myself lately. I've been fact checking myself lately. So Denzel Ward, Pro Bowler, Northeast, has future locked in. American Denzel Ward, the Warden, former All-Star American, obviously Ohio State guy. Denzel Ward, you got barbecue back there. Shout out to Gus Johnson. I want to confirm that Denzel Ward has the C on his jersey and show you, because when you have somebody, the following season, Ward was the only player in the NFL with 2 fumbles, named a team captain for the first time in his career in the 2024-2025 season. This from the gosh darn NFL. So Denzel Ward, a vet, a legend, if you've been watching college football for a while, because of Gus Johnson and obviously because of the legendary Ohio State defense and defensive players. Rest in peace, Jeff Okudah. Sorry. He's not dead. There's nothing wrong with him. He just don't play man coverage well. But shout out to Jeff Okudah. But shout out to Denzel Ward. Obviously, I know that I kind of call 2024-2025 first season being a captain. So this is a captain. Apparently, and he's leaking. Look. Yo, hey, Shedeur is having a rough 3 months. Last year, that boy started off hot. Hot as fish grease. You couldn't tell that boy nothing. You couldn't tell Shannon Sharp nothing. As soon as Cat Williams stepped on set, it was over. That boy, he gone. Now, these last 6 months, it's been a little different for old Shannon Sharp. And now he got his co-host leaking inside information, and believe it or not, players don't like that. Players don't like when stuff gets back to them. And now, because what if Joe Flacco does start? What if Kenny Pickett does start? What if Dylan Gabriel starts? And Denzel Ward's over there like, you know what I'm saying? Like I was just saying I like the kid, but let's continue. Let's let him finish up.
Wait, I done talked to some people. He looked different. There's a difference when that young bull is out there spinning that ball. You hear me? Difference. I'm talking about football. I ain't talking about no media and all that hoopla and all them, on Twitter, they putting up the numbers. Some he was 10 for 12 for 2 touchdowns. I'm talking about when he's at the helm, he looks different. Whether he's going with the first team, second team, or third team, it don't matter. I understand getting drafted in the 5th round. All that means nothing when it's time to play football and that whistle blows. He looks different than the rest of the competition. That's what I heard. And I'm talking from not Brother Ward. I'm just talking about from sources that's in that room, that's on that field, that's playing the sport.
Oh, great save, Ocho. Great save, Ocho. Not Brother Ward. Just from other people and other sources. Dog. Ocho did a great job trying to save face and trying to save the fact that Denzel Ward clearly wants him to be a starter, and it's not something that you gotta hide. I don't think it's anything that needs to be hidden. You know what I'm saying? Like as soon as Shedeur Sanders got there, he was getting dapped up from vets. He was getting gravitated towards by both vets and first year players. It seems like people are just taking well to him and what he's got going on, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. There is nothing wrong with that. I know people want to make it, negative, but you know what I'm saying? That boy smiling, that boy cheesing, that boy doing stuff. And of course, Jerry Jeudy. All right, we're not going to listen to this again because it's terrible audio. What Jerry Jeudy said is, I think he's a great young quarterback. I think he's going to do a tremendous job for us. He's a great dude, and I'm excited to have him on our team. So nothing but positivity that you can see from the teammates. Obviously, he's been doing things like showing up or staying after. He did this on both of the last two mandatory mini camps where he just made sure that he put in some extra work, got in some extra throws. And this is after people were saying, wow, he's throwing the ball much better. The mechanics are cleaner. The ball's coming out of his hand in even better ways. And he's still out there putting in pain, putting in process, putting things in. This is what people see when they talk about what does look different? That looks different. Right, the attention to detail looks different. The fact that he got a weak arm, huh? What about that dot, huh? What about that dot? You feel me? But it is what it is. It seems like every question that's been thrown at him, he's answering with flying colors. And let's hear about what the head coach feels about him.
Just having him in the meeting room brings a great personality in there. It's fun to have. I sit right behind him. Joe is to my left, to Shedeur's left, and to see those two bounce ideas off of each other is hilarious. Joe will say a few things, and I'll be like, Joe, Shedeur wasn't born. He wasn't born then. So it's just he's got great energy, great kid, working his tail off, and he's playing really well too.
He said he wasn't even born there, working his tail off, working really well. So let's hear from a few media pundits, right? Now, this is, again, after all mini camps have concluded. This is what a few people have to say. So we're going to hear from Mr. Jones here. I can't believe I forgot his first name. I completely forgot his first name. I know his last name. And then we're also going to hear from Mr. Jerry Fowler on ESPN. A few ESPN as well as faculty words there, and then we're going to close off yap about what they're yapping about. So let's hear it.
Whatever you see and whatever you hear is about the young fella getting better. If he steps into this preseason and he plays well and he looks like he's been looking out here at practice and he looks like the Shedeur Sanders from Colorado, you have to start this young boy week 1. Oh, wow. It is going to be so much pressure put on this organization. It has been years and years and years since the Cleveland Browns has had a consistent, good quarterback. And you sneak and get this one in the 5th round. I think if he shows that he can play with this open competition, the coach is telling us that they are having, and I believe he's the best one out there talent-wise from top to bottom, put him out there week 1, let him start, and let him go through his ups and downs.
Now, I disagree with him starting week 1, but that's for some different reasons. But let's continue the media.
Fowler Files in the mini camp confidential edition. And how tall am I compared to Jeremy Fowler here on SportsCenter? That is also confidential, America.
Yeah, your personality is like 6'10", man.
That's all that matters. All right. So Aaron Rodgers finally decided to sign with the Pittsburgh Steelers and once considered to sign with the Minnesota Vikings. They've gone with J.J. McCarthy, a guy who hurt his knee during his rookie season. So how much confidence do they have in him coming off of that injury?
Well, Scooby, I thought it was supposed to be confidential. We're not supposed to share this with the public.
We're going to do this for America.
So, as was told to me, they hit camp in that battle.
I'm going to go ahead and skip forward.
He's a have to try to shake that out, and then we'll see what happens. Then you got the Browns. So this was fascinating because I was told Kevin Stefanski's plan for his 4 quarterbacks and OTAs and minicamp was to try to get a lot of different guys, different touches in different situations, and they all really answered the bell, including Sanders, who showed the ability to put the ball in some tight windows. He threw with aggressiveness, took some chances, so they like where he sits. Now Stefanski has to formulate a plan in training camp that's probably a little more crystallized, maybe has a little bit of a depth chart to it. They are not there yet, but Sanders has made an impression, there's no doubt.
Really fun time of the year when it comes down to the NFL, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is Jeremy Fowler.
I do want to point out, and great things to hear. Hey, and we talked about this in another video, but really the changing combined narrative, right? Because when the draft field happened, the narrative was like, hey, he's whether you were against or for, a lot of the focus was on the play, right? And if it wasn't on the play, then people tried to allude to, hey, he's arrogant, he's whatever, he's this, he's that. So it's almost like, and as soon as the rookie minicamp happened, like the play part of it, that just went out the window. People stopped because they realized they didn't have it. So the only arguments at that point was like, he's not as tall as most quarterbacks, which, I mean, that's fair. He doesn't have a big arm. He's not the fastest. That's cool. but I don't remember that being the defining factor in greatness and all the Hall of Fame and great quarterbacks I've seen. But hey, that's your argument. That's your argument. And then of course the arrogant whatever argument. And now what you're starting to see is both of those arguments even erode more because now he's playing even better. He's kind of making up for those, whether it's size things. There again, like I said, since I know I said being in the draft, I said everything you're gonna hear is a lie. After the draft, I said like everything they say about you is true. Sorry. No, I'm joking. Dang, I lost what I was saying. But my point is that, that's what it was. That's what it was. Nobody with an actual name, like only anonymous sources want to say negative things about Shedeur. Any single person that has said positive things about Shedeur from the anonymous leak going forward, it's always been positive from people with actual words and who have actual who's going to put their name attached to it and who've had actual long time experience with Cleveland Browns player, long time experience with Shedeur. They start saying the same thing. They're like, wow, he's actually this, he's actually that, he's actually this. And then you back that up with the play. And now you got NFL players being like, I think this is the best guy on the team. Like, I think it's clear to see how he can start in week 1, but I got a hot take. I don't want him to start in week 1. What I want him to do is kind of like we talked about in another video, force Dylan Gabriel or Kenny Pickett to get traded, right? And then have Shedeur Sanders be QB2. Now, why do I want him to be QB2? Because I want him to be treated like Patrick Mahomes. I want him to be treated presumably like Jackson Dart's finna be treated in Giants. Look, no pressure. We're going to mold you, right? You're a quarterback too. So if someone goes down, hey, it's you, but we're going to be putting resources into you. We're going to be mentoring you, whether that is, and we're going to make sure that as this year progresses, whether it's Michael Penix and I start later in the year, or it's, hey, full Patrick, or I think Patrick Mahomes started late in the year too. So or Patrick Mahomes or whatever, where you start late in the year, or hey, maybe we go the full year, protect him. Because hey, if y'all wanted to disrespect him, y'all wanted to run your draft numbers NFL with Shedeur Sanders, okay, well now what we finna get, since y'all like him so much, is we about to get a nice 15-year NFL career. That's what we finna do. That's how we gonna get back. All right, Shedeur, and he's already done. He's got it locked in. But you get that 1 year of, okay, I get small money, but I get to max out on my endorsement deals, right? Then I hit y'all over the head with my second contract, which at the time in the next 4 years, if everything goes right and he does live up to the hype and he can ascend, which I think he can do, and he's ready for just a mid-tier. Let's just say he's just a mid quarterback. Let's just say that he's just a good quarterback. Let's say he's Kirk Cousins level. Well, you're going to have at least $300 million guaranteed in 4 years. Not bad. Again, I don't think he's worried about the money, but it's just something to think about. So I don't want him to start week 1 because I want this to be a long, fruitful career. I don't want him to be thrown to the wolves in a Browns offense or a Browns team that has yet to refine their identity. Even though I think Quinshon Judkins and Dylan Sampson having 2 elite running backs, I think that is going to help you, but they're still running backs. Let's see if they can figure out what they want to do from this offense, how they want to sculpt it, and then Shedeur can do it with his feet firmly planted. Don't try to sacrifice him to the wolves. That's all I got to say. But other than that, you see the narratives, though. You see the fact that even the thought of him being quarterback 1, go back too much. You look at my video, look at Twitter, whatever. The thought of him even making the team was like, oh my God, what if he gets cut? That's what people were talking about when the draft first happened. He's gonna get cut. Oh my God, Dylan Gabriel. And now we're at minicamp. We're like, could Shedeur start week 1? Dog. How the turns have tabled, dog. How the tables turns and turns have tables. But anyway, that's enough of me yapping. Appreciate you watching. If you did enjoy your watch, leave a like on the video. Just like if you don't like it, subscribe if you enjoy football content of all shapes, sizes, and forms. Hit the bell icon to stay informed. See how I did there. Continue to be great. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for 25K. Thank you so much for justifying me yapping into this mic. Plenty more videos to come. If there's any type of video or certain thing you want me to cover, comment it down below. I'll make a video about it. I'll yap about it. I might even yap on live about it. And let me know if y'all enjoyed the live streams. I did that recently. So if that's something you want to see more of, holla at me. Y'all want me to game on there? Y'all want me to do fun stuff? Hey, we got time. It's the off season, all right? But when it's foosball time, it's going to get serious. So y'all get ready. Y'all get your foosball knowledge ready. We're going to get after it, man. Again, thank you for being great. See you next time. Peace.